Now that I've done some research on identifying keywords that are most important to this page, I want to take that one step further and find keywords that are related or keywords that my competitors are using that I might not be using. So I'm going to navigate and take this vegan ice cream keyword into the Topic Explorer tool so that I can identify some of those semantically related keywords and evaluate their potential. So what this is going to do is show me this really helpful topic bubble, maybe some of the keywords that Tasty is not ranking for, but are really important to the topic as a whole. Generates this bubble to show our core keyword as well as some of the keywords that are related. You'll see a legend over here on the side, but basically what it's doing is breaking down keywords that are related to our core topic of vegan ice cream. I can see ones that have larger bubbles here are going to have a higher search volume versus smaller bubbles might have a little bit lower of a search volume. And then I can also see how they're related to one another through some of these stems and exactly how all of these topics and keywords make sense together. What's really helpful is I can click onto any of these different topics and look into topic details to see a little bit more insight on the search volume, the cost per click, the search intent, which I'll go through in just a second, as well as the seasonality of that topic. And then lastly, I can see what the position looks like for all of our competitors. So this is a live version of the SERP. This saves me from having to go and do actual live searches for all these keywords, because what I can do is actually come in here and see exactly who's ranking for this. I want to look and see folks like The Kitchen, PETA, Vegan.com, some of these different competitors that are going to have very similar content to mine and the type of SERP that I want to be competitive in, versus maybe coming in here and taking a look and seeing some of those that don't really fit the type of content that I'm looking to compete against. So this is very, very helpful and saves me some time here. In addition to any of these, I can also remove anything I don't find helpful just so I can keep this topic a little bit more focused. For instance, something like vegan ice, that's just ice. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that topic. And I can customize this based on exactly what I'm looking for. So it's a very, very helpful insight just to get those last minute steps or items that I would have maybe not noticed just from looking purely at Tasty's URL. So I can look a little deeper into this and take a peek at seasonality. So here I'll follow that same legend over here on the side. What this is telling me is there's a lot more search volume around summer and even spring for this topic, which is not surprising for ice cream, but it'll give me a little hint to say, you know what, I probably shouldn't be writing this article in November because it's not going to have a lot of search interest until later on in the year. And I want to optimize and push fresh content when it's going to have the highest potential for gain. Next, I can take a look at competitiveness, and then I like to kind of see something like this where there's a good mixture of any of these. It'll give me some insight on what Google's charging for any AdWords for things like this. And it's helpful for me because if I'm writing an article and I see something that's very competitive, Google's charging a lot of money for these cost per clicks, what it's telling me is chances are, even if I get into position one, I might be buried beneath a few different paid listings that'll push me a little bit farther down the page. So I do like to see a good, healthy amount of competition in the paid side, but at the same time, I don't want to be overwhelmed with paid ads. And then lastly, search intent. This is going to give me some insight on, based on the elements that are on the SERP page, if this is an informational, a navigational, or a transactional search. I really don't want to have an article or a recipe based in a search that includes a lot of purchase and buy verbiage, maybe product listing ads, something that's heavily transactional. At the same time, navigational is going to be very branded, maybe something like Nike where it's going to have a business listing, Nike listed a few times, site links. It's very much owned by one brand. I don't want to be competitive in that. I really want to be competitive in the informational space because I want to see a lot of informational content. Folks are coming here to look up an actual recipe for what I'm trying to write, and that's precisely what I'm trying to optimize for. So now that I've got this topic, I'm really confident in the vegan ice cream. I like what I'm seeing across all of these different areas. I've gone ahead and evaluated its potential and chosen a really good strategy from this core keyword. So next, I'm going to start optimizing based on this research and based on what my competitors are doing.